And welcome to News 2 Listens. We're going to have a couple of segments here tonight because it's a topic that our community is extremely concerned with. And our guest this evening by phone is fire expert Dr. Harry Carter. He has 42 years of experience reading these NIOSH reports, and he joins us now. If you would like to get in on this conversation, 216-4938. Now, Dr. Carter, is there anything that jumps out at you in this report that really looks of concern?
Well, the fact that there were no findings makes it a little difficult to review this, but the items that I saw were the issue of the water primarily and the command system. And without water, you're not going to put a fire out. So what I see in the NIOSH report is a very good coverage of pretty much what we know already. And that's why I was a little concerned that they could release a draft report so early. But since there were no findings, they've given us all of the background data, and when the system finally works, it's going to provide us with the findings. But my concerns on this are primarily the water and the structure and then the command structure.
You have any thoughts on how or why a draft would be released?
Well, the mayor asked for it, as I understand it, and for whatever reason, it was released. I can't speak to the reasons that the federal government does anything.
But that is unusual, then, for a draft to be released before the actual final...
First time to my knowledge. First time to my knowledge I've ever seen that. Now, by the way, I've got 42 years in the fire service, but I've only been reviewing NIOSH reports for 2 years. So
fair enough. All right.
Let the public know the truth there.
Fair enough. All right. Well, glad for that clarification. Let's go to some phone calls. Sam, you're on the line with us from North Charleston. Go ahead. Sam?
Hi.
Yes, go ahead, Sam.
Yes. Yes, I've seen a lot of coverage on television, and the thing that bothers me is people were driving over the water hoses.
Right.
At first, no police cars were there initially.
Right.
And I can't believe they didn't have enough water pressure. I'm sure they had enough fire hydrants, and then I read in the report that they didn't connect to them right away. They took the water off the trucks first.
Well, the water supply
unusual.
The water supply was an issue without question on a lot of different levels, and I read in that report as well that a call went out after a period of time for more city police supervision to prevent and to inhibit the traffic from running over the supply lines that were coming. Dr. Carter, I'm sure you saw some of that in that report as well.
Well, I did, but I also didn't hear what Sam had to say, so I'm just commenting on your question that there was an issue of water supply, and there's always an issue of people running over hoses. Ran into that many times during my decades with the Newark Fire Department in New Jersey.
All right, let's get another caller on. Dan, you're on the line with us from Monk's Corner. Go ahead.
Thank you. Two things. First is a comment. The Charleston Fire Department has 2 infrared detectors. One of them was at headquarters. I don't know if it was there on that day, but they also had access to those through the county. So the report seems to say that there was no availability, or that Chief Thomas declined using them.
You're talking about
the second thing
go ahead.
The second thing is the water supply, lack of water supply based on the 2.5-inch hose, or the size of the mains, because multiple 2.5-inch hoses fed to the same unit will give you a substantial water supply. That's the question for Dr. Carter.
Well, in reviewing the report, you're right. Multiple 2.5-inch lines will provide greater flow. I noted one line in the report where it stated that a unit was being fed by a 2.5-inch line of 23 lengths, and based upon my many years' experience, you're not going to get a lot of water out that way. But then again, the fire departments that I operate with, Newark and now Adelphia, switched over to large diameter hose in the 70s in Newark and in the early 90s for Adelphia. So the issue of 2.5 being a supply line in the year 2007 shouldn't have been an issue.
All right, and we do know that since these investigations and some of these preliminary reports have come out, the city has gone to the 5-inch line. I don't know if you're aware of that, Dr. Carter, but I know that we've reported that, and the mayor has mentioned that as well. Dr. Carter, we're going to ask you to hold on through a break. We'll take more calls and also hear more from Dr. Harry Carter, who has 42 years of business fighting fires, also has been involved in NIOSH reports as well for the last couple of years. Back with more of his insight and your comments as well as News 2 Listens continues in just a moment.